Hey everyone, good morning to you. Thank you for being with us for a CBS 8 Plus extended forecast. I'm Evan Nurani, where we're looking at another day with high fire danger across not only San Diego County, but really across Southern California. We know it all too well up in the LA area where fires continue to burn at a massive rate of spread. Fire crews did start to be able to use some aerial support last night as these winds died down. We finally saw a brief break in the Santa Anas that started really yesterday afternoon and evening and now continue through this morning. So Santa Anas take a break. We are not out of the woods yet completely though, and that's because another round of wind is expected to come our way tonight into tomorrow, so Thursday night into Friday. Because of that, the National Weather Service has extended the red flag warning that was set to expire at 6 p.m. on Thursday. It's now going to expire at 6 p.m. on Friday. That combination of gusty easterly winds and low relative humidity, very dry conditions out there, mean that fires that have already started, the many fires up in the LA area, can continue to spread at a rapid rate, and that a fire could still start up anywhere across the highlighted portion of red on your screen, which includes a good portion of our San Diego County inland valleys and mountains. Let's take a look at what we have as far as that high wind warning, because this also has an expiration date now of 2 p.m. on Friday. It was also set to expire today on Thursday, but now extended. And what we're watching for is that day after day, these Santa Anas just seem more and more intense. Yesterday was our peak, but we saw this brief break and a lot of people let their guard down. We're going to have another round of them come about tonight into tomorrow. 30 to 40 miles per hour on your sustained speeds, gusts upwards of 65 miles per hour at times. So both of those will expire by Friday afternoon and evening. And then we should head into our weekend with really mild conditions out there as far as our fire danger goes. I mean, we know that fire danger is going to stay high across Southern California until we get our next major rainfall. But in the meantime, we at least can hope that those Santa Anas take away a big factor of spread in terms of how those fires are able to move around. Now, let's look at where your wind gusts were early this morning. We got that break. Still a bit breezy across our local mountains and deserts, but this is that uptick that we're expected to see again going into this afternoon and this evening. We're all the way up to 53 miles per hour on your wind gusts in Pine Valley, 34 miles per hour on sustained speeds, still holding on to that easterly component of wind. Could even get higher going into 8 p.m., so late tonight into early tomorrow. Another round of very strong offshore winds expected. Our water year so far is not looking good on us. We've talked about how this is the lowest water year that we've seen in history. October 1st is when each water year begins, and since October 1st, we've been at about a 3 to 4 inch deficit on that rainfall. All of this rain would have helped us tremendously in ensuring that if a fire were to start, there was too much moisture out there, right? There's too much green, there's too much moist soil, dirt. However, we don't have any of that. The ground is tremendously dry. We're talking 1/100th of an inch of rain that's come down during what's supposed to be our wettest period of time. And all of that beautiful green vegetation has now turned to brown. It is all dead, and it is all fuel for these fires, not only up in the LA area, but for us as well. So we see that in San Diego County, our water year is not being very good to us, and this is typically when we pick up on the majority of that rain. So we have a very small window now from now through about March where we still should be picking up on a decent amount of it to try to recover. And we hope that we can, but still 7 days out in our extended models, which we'll look at in a second, show very little rain on the way. Looking at your forecast, relative humidity, we're going to drop down to the single digits. This isn't related directly to that water year, in that water year, of course, has been going on for months and months where we've been at a deficit. This is just our relative humidity for this afternoon. However, when you couple those two things together, very dry conditions, not only on the ground, but also in the air, we are creating a recipe for disaster. It's the same reason why that Santa Ana wind event was expected to be so intense up in the LA area, and why that red flag warning was already in effect before these fires began, because forecasters knew that with these ingredients coming together, if a fire were to start, it could just explode with speed. And that's what's happened up in that area. 6% relative humidity is just about as dry as we're gonna see. We usually see these red flag warnings take effect when those humidity values are in the teens, let alone down to the single digits as we're seeing for this afternoon. Once we see those winds shift back onshore this weekend into the beginning of next week, we'll not only see a cool down in terms of our temperatures, but we'll also see an uptick in our relative humidity, more moisture added to the atmosphere out there. High temperatures in the 60s and 70s, a final day where we're looking at temperatures above normal. And that's because that warm, dry air is coming over the mountaintops. It's compressing and heating up in the process. So that warmer than normal trend is going to be felt along the coast and inland for today and tomorrow. If you're not looking at the fire danger and the Santa Ana winds, you're looking at a 7-day stretch of beautiful conditions along our coastline. 70s, some 60s after you get through today. And that's what we're going to hold on to all the way through the middle of next week, with possible incorporation of a few clouds by the beginning of the next work week. Inland, we've got that weather impact alert day for today and tomorrow because of the red flag warning and high wind warning that remain in effect through Friday evening. And then we'll watch as those temperatures fall and those Santa Anas start to reduce in speed. We're back to the 60s across our inland valleys for the weekend and the beginning of next week. Mountains also see that weather impact alert day just because of the red flag warning and high wind warning. Their temperatures are going to be in the 50s and 60s by the weekend into next week. The ideal set of conditions that we have is that this weekend will create an environment that will allow fire crews to get the upper hand on fires up in the LA area. We won't see nearly the rate of spread because winds have died down, and San Diego will be free of all watches, warnings, advisories, especially related to the intense conditions that we have, the kind of perfect ingredients that have come together. So we'll keep tabs on that situation across the LA area and down here in San Diego. Remember, cbsa.com/weather can be a great resource to have in terms of what those conditions look like hour by hour. We update that constantly. You can also keep track of our latest forecast on demand. Download our free streaming channel on Apple Plus, Roku TV, Amazon Fire. You can catch them all there. Free streaming channel whenever you'd like to watch our forecasts. We appreciate you joining us here. Hope you're staying safe out across Southern California. I'm Evan Irani. Have a safe day out there.